All right. Hi, my lovelies. Hi, my lovelies. Have a wonderful day. I hope you're enjoying your week. I just wanted to address a more serious topic because I think it's important and it's something I get asked a whole lot. So I wanted to address it. Welcome to everyone who's here live and welcome to everyone who watches just the recording of this. Before I get into this, I wanted to mention one more time my masterclass is open for registration right now. We have a few more spots available. It's a 4-month program in which you get me as your personal vocal coach every single day. You get full access to my Back to the Basics course. You get full access to my Conquer Your Stage Fright course. You get weekly challenges. You get one-on-one feedback. You get group coaching. You'll get a weekly meeting and anything basically that will help you go forward and help you, of course, avoid any vocal damage or help you repair vocal damage. It is possible to repair. So, here's the question. By the way, all the links are in the description box. If you are interested in the masterclass, the link is there, and there is an early bird discount code if you register by this week, Friday. And registration will only be open for a short time, and then I won't open back up until later this year, maybe like later this summer. Vocal damage is something that is really horrible. Everyone here has been to the point to where maybe you've lost your voice just for a couple days because you had a really bad cold. I had this happen to me just a couple months ago. It was pretty bad, and only then do you realize how important it is to have a voice, even just for everyday life. So important just to be able to vocalize and to express yourself. It feels really you feel like you're handicapped when you can't even speak. It's horrible. You can't communicate with anyone. My daughter was like, I was just signing to her and I was writing down stuff. Luckily, she could read already. Hi, Rino. Hi, Sipun. Hi, Extramotional. Hi, Chesunyan. Chesunyan? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. But I'll answer all your questions at the end. But for now, I want to really address this topic. I think it's really important to always remind yourself that your body is your instrument. And so when there's something not quite right with your body, which that means your instrument can't work at peak performance, really important principle to respect your body, to feel what's going on, and that when you are sick and when there's something really bad going on, that you don't just continue singing on and belting high because you will only make it worse. So the main cause for vocal damage is it's not something you do once usually. It's very rare that you could do something one single time or a couple of times or only a handful of times and it will result in permanent vocal damage. There's a difference between temporary vocal damage that even happens when you have a really bad cold, when you have laryngitis. That is temporary. It can heal and it will go away. But um, when does it become permanent? It's that when you have strain and you continuously sing over that strain, you push beyond the strain and you still strain more. It's that continuous battering of the vocal cords that will result in permanent damage. When it comes to knots or nodules on the vocal cords, you could imagine it like when you are wearing shoes that don't fit right, you begin walking, it may feel just right, and then you start feeling a little bit of discomfort but if you continue on, if you don't heed the warnings your body is sending you by telling you this is uncomfortable, it's hurting, it's hurting, it's hurting. If you continue on, you will of course develop a blister. And it's very similar with the vocal cords. If you continue just smashing and smashing, it's almost like you always keep rubbing that same spot. You just keep rubbing, you just keep rubbing, you just keep rubbing, not massaging, you just keep rubbing it hard, then there may be a callus forming, and the vocal cords are normally very soft, right? It's membrane tissue, which means it's very soft, and that membrane tissue is attached to muscle tissue, and also muscle tissue, it's soft fleshy, right? Soft fleshy tissue. When you continuously batter that, always that same spot, it will develop a callus. That is your body's response um, to say, reacting, trying to protect itself. It's even allergic reactions. They are actually there to protect you. Your body protects, it reacts, it creates all this mucus to flush out foreign toxins that are bad. And when you form a callus on your vocal cords, it's your body is trying to protect and trying to react, also very wisely, of course, making you not be able to vocalize. Because if you continue on, the damage would get worse and worse. So, by your voice getting weaker and you're losing your voice, it's actually almost like a safeguard that your body built in so you can't even continue. You can't even continue. Of course, you don't ever want to get to that point to where you can't even continue. Not fun, it hurts, and when you have laryngitis, that is a not a permanent damage, but it is something where you just temporarily cannot vocalize, and you should not vocalize. When your larynx is inflamed and there's an infection, do not vocalize. And when you start vocalizing too soon, after having like a temporary loss of voice, and you keep battering, you keep pushing way too much consistently, that can result in permanent damage. So, in answering the question, the most common way singers damage their voices is by constantly singing too high, constantly singing too loud without the proper support to take the weight off the vocal cords, without having good breath control, without singing from the top of your breath. And so this unsupported singing results in you pushing through more air because you're compensating. You're not supported. Therefore, in order to still hit that pitch, you totally can. When you're unsupported, you could hit it. If you have a strong will and you're like, I'm just gonna push it hard and I'm just gonna just push it out there, you can totally hit those high pitches, but at the cost of all the pressure, like all the strain being on your vocal cords, and especially when singing high and loud. When you hear unintentional rasp, unintentional fry, that is a warning signal that your vocal cords are not working efficiently. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. If you're to the point where you cannot even sing a tone without a rasp, you're trying to sing a clear tone, but there's no way. There's always a rasp. Not good. There might be permanent damage, but don't be scared now. It might only be that you're not using the right technique. If you constantly have a rasp, well, if you constantly have the rasp and it doesn't even go away for a split second, it's pretty sure you might have permanent damage. But if you have constant rasp, but there are moments where, oh, now it wasn't there. Now I didn't have a rasp just for a split second, but then it came back. It might only be that you're not using the right technique. So, but still continuing to sing with that rasp, unintentional rasp, you can sing raspy in a more healthy way. But if you're doing it unintentionally, if you continue on, it's almost like it's almost like putting salt in the wound. You there's already some compromise. There's already weakness and you just keep pushing it. It's like when you pull a muscle and you still keep on running. Not good, it will get worse. And then, out of a temporary damage, which it's not so bad. Most damage is temporary and can be repaired. But if you're continuing on, it might never go away again. That's why I'm saying just be so careful. Be so careful when you have that rasp in your voice that's unintentional, that you don't just neglect and just like, oh, I don't care. I'll just because I just want to go ahead and sing that pitch there and I just want to sing. I know how you have that desire to sing and how awesome it feels. And like, I know how I love to sing too. And it's hard to not sing for a few days or a few weeks. But sometimes the best thing that you could ever prescribe to yourself is vocal rest. don't underestimate how much rest can help you. Sometimes when you're doing it too much, and I'm a big proponent of very frequent, regular practice. It's real important. Always keep repeating and practicing continuously. Just stay on the ball. But sometimes the best thing you can do is actually rest. I had times when I sang so freaking much. I had so many freaking performances during the week for many hours. And like I had 8-hour rehearsals every day, and then I had some more gigs to make some money during the rehearsals because we only got paid. You Here's the truth, you get paid less money a lot of times during rehearsals if you're a freelancing artist, and then when you're actually getting all the shows, like 30 shows, then you get your rate for per show. But during that time of rehearsals, oftentimes I would, it would be like a 3-month rehearsal period for an opera production, and then I did gigs. I was very it was strained, it was hard, but that's when I found that even having that strain, if you really focus on your technique, you can make it better and you can heal. I've had this happen many times. I was kind of sick or I was overly strained because I had to sing so much because I've been always making a full-time living off of singing. So sometimes you just have to rough it out and just go ahead and do it. But I would start a gig. Sometimes I played for like 3 hours in bars, and I started out the gig with a very hoarse voice, and it was because I had been singing too much. But what I did was not just belting it out. I picked songs since it was background music. I couldn't very well for 3 hours just sing at the peak and like sing with full force and intensity, but I did it in a very smart way. I used the songs I started the sets out with as massage from vocal cords. So instead of using songs with tight vocal cord closure, that like those high ping, high intensity, very tight vocal cord closure kind of songs with lots of compression, they really put more strain on your vocal cords then. And that's what I did. I'd sing softly, fly me to the moon and let me sing among the stars. Let me see um, what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. What can I think of the words right now? Very low intensity, still really focusing on beauty, turning up the mic just a bit more. That is smart. And that was like a massage to my vocal cords. And oftentimes I would start the set and I would feel like, oh my goodness, how am I going to get through this day? How am I going to get through this gig? I can't even speak. I'm very hoarse. But by doing that low intensity, very much focused on good technique, good posture, even when I was playing the piano, good posture, nice deep breaths, singing with expansion, nice even breath flow, not too breathy, but not too much force. It was like a massage for the vocal cords. And at the end of the gig, I was like, whoa, I got the beautiful voice. And it was like, well, clear. It's all clear. I had this happen many times, which tells me you can you can do a lot with good technique. So don't batter your vocal cords when they're already very strained. That high ping kind of tone. You can't do that for hours and hours. You know what I mean? It's like, you're simply the best. And then after that, it's like, I don't know, more songs like that. I love rock and roll. It's my party and I don't cry if I want to, cry if I want to, cry if I want to. And then I'm so excited and I just can't hide it. No, 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 no. Go on, I'll go. Walk out the door. I'm walking on sunshine. Oh, so you do that few songs in a row. It's like that is that high intensity, high impact, high compression, tight vocal cord closure, ping, lots of ping. That kind of stuff you can't do forever. And so you need to intersperse, even within the songs, you need to intersperse those can't speak. You need to intersperse those moments of high intensity with just whenever you can, just a little bit lower intensity. Da 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 da. I'm walking on sunshine. Oh, and then when the verses come, relax your voice. That is my number one tip. Try to look for those moments of letting go just a little bit. Release, release, release that tension just a bit. That bad kind of tension, that pushiness, which you need to push sometimes, but you can't do it for hours on end, 8 hours a day, every day. No. Now it's different from a pianist. A pianist, like, your fingers, you can move them for hours and hours, but your vocal cords are very delicate. They're inside your body, and there's only so much that can take, and that's very natural. The longer you've been singing, like in years wise, and the longer you've been practicing good technique, the more stamina you will build. You totally will build stamina. Nowadays, my healing process is so much quicker. Even when I have a cold, it usually doesn't take very long. So I've never had this happen to where like for 2 weeks I had no voice. Even when the voice was completely gone, which happened a couple months ago, it only took 2 or 3 days for my voice to come back, but only because I knew how to be careful and how to come back. And when it was really essential to not sing and vocalize at all, I shut up and I knew how to come back to not be loud, try not to be loud, but just tune it down all. Just tune it all down a bit. Okay, let me answer your questions. I have maybe 5 minutes. Okay. And of course I don't know if I'm saying your name right. Is it Jesunyan or Sesunyan? I sing in a choir from 7th grade to 12th grade. Present. Okay, that's where you're at now. I used to sing All I Want without losing my voice, but then last year my voice became hoarse and it stayed hoarse for 3 months straight. Not good. Probably you did too much and maybe didn't have maybe one area didn't have the right technique. So that's when it's always useful to get checked up by a coach who knows what they're talking about, who knows, who has experience, who has experienced it firsthand also to give you some insight. It's really hard to know what the cause of the root of the actual problem is. If I don't hear you, just hearing I was hoarse doesn't I can't really prescribe. It's like a doctor, just because you're saying, "Well, my arm hurts." We don't know exactly what causes it. Nissan Limbu. It was good before learning vocal fry. After learning it, I lost my control and high notes. Oh no. Okay. If you're doing vocal fry correctly, then you should be able to do it or not do it, to turn it on and off. So, I'm not sure. Maybe you didn't execute correctly, and that is oftentimes the problems. That's the problem when you watch just YouTube videos and you don't have anyone actually checking if you're doing it right. You might think you're doing it right because you're getting the sound, but you don't know if you're executing correctly with good technique. And so that's always a little bit dangerous when you try things that lie outside of having a clear tone. Okay. Again, says Yunyan. Tesunyan. I still practice despite the hoarseness. Okay, that's the cause because I got a solo part. Awesome. A solo part is very important for me. I never realized that pushing myself will only hurt me more. Yeah, doctor told me not to sing speak. Yes, and any doctor will tell you to rest your voice when there is temporary damage. Otherwise, it will turn into permanent damage, which you don't want. You can remove, there can be vocal cord surgery, but it's risky and there's a long healing process involved. So, if at all possible, try to avoid as soon as you get hoarse and the next day you're hoarse, try to assess. Should I even sing today? What did I do to cause the hoarseness? Was it just because I did too much and that sometimes you totally have to do a lot because you might have a gig with a band or you have a show. Sometimes it can't be avoided to do more, but then, when you overdid it, then you need to, if at all possible, do take a rest. Greta, wait a minute. Scroll up. Greta, I'll answer your question just a second. Samuel says, I lived with sinusitis for years and I feel it's having a toll on my vocal prowess. I've had a struggle with breathing and my voice is very hoarse now. Is there a way that I can sing around this condition? Hmm. Okay. Now the sinusitis, this is my personal approach and I this is only because I'm not only interested in singing technique, but I'm very interested. I'm such a nerd when it comes to science, health and body, like your physical body in general, and how it's also connected with the mind and so important. I'm such a nerd. But here's my opinion. When you have a condition that might have nothing to do with singing directly, of course, sinusitis, it only affects your singing. But when you have something that persists, there's some imbalance in your body that is obvious. Something obviously isn't right. We were created to work, the body, this body is just such an amazing work of art. I think it amazes me all the time. All the things I learn new from science, it's like crazy. So crazy. Your body is so perfect, or it can work perfectly if you give it the conditions that it was made for, um, in order to work perfectly. And so my advice is just to really dig deeper. Why is it that you have like a chronic problem going on? If you're really serious about your voice, you must be very serious about your body in general and a balancing of anything that's going on in your body. So medications can be absolutely awesome. They can save lives. They can help you so much. But my question is always, what is the underlying cause? What is the underlying cause? There's some imbalance. Your body's reacting to something. And is there a way to address the underlying problem to where maybe that chronic problem, you can find relief for that chronic problem, which then, of course, in turn will make all kinds of areas of your life easier, including singing. It's just, I'm such a big believer in that because stretching my muscles helps my singing. Um, my gut biome helps my singing. Everything to put my body in balance helps my singing. Like my biome, because my breathing gets better. I don't have phlegm. I don't have too much mucus. Like every part of your body affects every other part of your body. And so don't ever just point at one part of your body. It's like, there's the problem because this is where it hurts and that's where I'm feeling the problem. It's more than that. It's the entirety. There needs to be a balance. And I feel in singing, there needs to be a good balance in your body because all the technique won't work unless you have, like, your body is free from like really bad, things that limit you. So I'm such a nerd when it comes to these kind of things, and I'm a big believer in it. I get mucosal swelling very often after singing. How do I avoid it? Okay. So, mucus or any swelling is a reaction that your body has, and it's reacting to overstrain probably. Maybe, so of course I'm not hearing you sing, but if I heard you and if I could see and hear what's going on as you sing, I probably could know. So there's a checklist, of course. What is happening with your breathing? Is it free? Is it open? What's happening with your compression? Do you have compression? Do you have expansion as you inhale so that you can create compression? Do you have sufficient vocal cord closure so that you don't rub your vocal cords wrong all the time? So these are all elements that flow into, like, why is your body reacting with overly producing mucus? Mucus is not something bad. Mucus is something that your body needs, and when it reacts, it's not like, oh, I hate mucus and it's creating phlegm on my vocal cords. My question is always, what is your body trying to tell you? There is a reason. Your body isn't stupid. Really, your body is so incredibly intelligent. So incredibly intelligent. It's reacting to something. You're doing something to it that it doesn't like. And so you need to ask yourself, what is it that is causing my body to react this way? Um, I have a good voice, how to enhance it. Well, I want to stay on topic. And of course, you can always enhance it by keeping good technique and keeping it healthy, because otherwise you couldn't even practice. And regular practice is totally important, paired with rest when you need to. When I let's see. strat mat. When I do what YouTube videos recommend, I get gritty, gravelly voice for a couple of days. Okay. This also happens to me when I sing the high parts in the Queen song Bohemian Rhapsody. Okay, where he sings for me. Okay, for me. So here is what I think you might not execute correctly. So just imitating what someone else shows you in a video, I mean, it's all the videos are awesome and I make lots of them, but that's why I say you need someone to check up on you. Just singing and getting the desired sound as a result doesn't mean you're doing it right yet. So, having someone to check you if you're executing correctly, if you are putting too much strain on some part of your body is a really good idea. And you can do this. I have a free Facebook group also. If you can't afford my masterclass, you can always join my Facebook group. It's an awesome group, and you can always ask questions there. Master your voice. Just look for it on Facebook. It's free, and there's I think it's 2,600 people in there, something like that, or 2,700. Okay, let's see. How can hello Atushi? Ah, wait a minute. Where did it go? It just where did it go? Something just scrolled way down. Mm. Okay, A and J I wanted to answer. I'm a tenor, one in high school in my acid reflux, bad posture, and pneumonia for a long time killed my high range. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's horrible. I hope I can get it back because it affects my breathing also. I have short breathing now. Yes. And my number one recommendation is really look after your body and try to heal, but not with medications, but try to find what are all the root causes. I mean, there's always, there are infections, there are viruses and bacteria out there that make us sick sometimes, and sometimes that can cause like big problems that are ongoing. But I'm a big believer in helping the body help itself and to respect. So maybe singing isn't the first priority here. Maybe just focusing on healing your body and helping your body be in balance so that then your voice can even begin working efficiently. It's just, when you're constantly struggling against your body because it's of course just giving you signals. It causes frustration and it also just causes a lot of strain. Okay, Greta Sones. I get mucosal swelling very often. Oh, I got that one. Okay. That I got. Gideon. I really would love to join your program, but it seems impossible for me as I'm a student and I have no source of income yet. I'm sorry. And also I happen to be from India, which dollar yeah, I know. That sucks. I know. And I'm also sorry that, I live in Germany, so in Europe, cost of living is very high. So that's I do a lot of stuff for free, and so because I do wanna help as many people as possible. I mean, I have a book that's available, I have an audiobook that's only a few bucks, and then I have my free Facebook group, and then I have a podcast. If you have not subscribed to my podcast, that's also free, so you can always listen to me on the go when you're out and about. You can find it on iTunes, any podcasting app that you're looking for. It's also just look for Freya Casey and you'll find it. And my Facebook group, of course. There you can always get free advice. And my masterclass is really because it's like you having me as a one-on-one coach. And since that is my full-time gig, I'm a full-time singer and vocal coach. And this year I'm committing even more time to my masterclass and to YouTube. I can't do it for free. Okay, let's see. Let's continue on. Um, where was I? My mixed voice. Okay, Pirita. My mixed voice isn't chesty at all. Well, okay. Does it just need practice and repetition to strengthen? Now, your mixed voice it's not like it needs to be chesty. I have videos about mixed voice, what it even means, and how I don't even like the term mixed voice because it causes so much confusion. I had a, yeah, recently, you could watch the most recent video I had about mixed voice Just search for it, and it's very valuable. It's gonna help you really answer your questions about, does it need to be chesty? Does it need to be heady? And is it like, how do I strengthen it? It's gonna open your eyes. Um, Atsushi, that's what it is. I said it wrong earlier. Hello, can external impact on your throat affect your voice? Yes, it totally can. It totally can. So see this right here. Of course, in me, I'm a woman. You can't see it that much. On men have a more protruding um, larynx, so you can see it move up and down. But if something, you can damage your larynx by, you know, if you hit it hard, there you could definitely damage your larynx, and your larynx is an essential part for vocalizing. Someone who has a damaged larynx also cannot vocalize. So it's not just the vocal cords, you need the larynx. It's really important. Otherwise, the vocal cords do not function. Okay. Thank you so much, Freya. I'm very bad at hydrating the body. Oh, yeah. I know it's a big deal. I mean, my water intake is bad. Like, I hardly drink 7 glasses of water a day. Could that also be a reason? It might be one of the reasons. So you need to check all bases. And there are wonderful little apps that remind you of drinking water if you're really bad at remembering. The rule of thumb is, when you feel thirsty, it's too late. When you feel thirsty, you're already dehydrated. And so, what doesn't help is to gulp down a whole bunch of water, like 3 glasses all at once, because your body can't use it. You need to drink small amounts throughout the day, as much as you can. And it could be part of the reason. Just look for, like, try to be a healthier, more balanced person in general, and your body and your mind. I do meditation, I do affirmations, I do a lot of positivity work. I exercise every day, even if it's just for a few minutes, really. I go for runs, I do yoga, I do so many different things. I'm starting to climb now. I'm doing a boulder course and a climbing class here soon. So I'm doing all these activities, and I bike, I do body strength training, and I think all of these things really help me balance my body. So, this happened to me the one time I followed a YouTube video where a really good coach described how to do it. Once I got the gritty feeling, I never did it again. Yeah. Yeah. You never know if you were actually executing it correctly. So, is there a safe way to learn how to add grit and distortion to your voice? My voice is a big like Jason Mraz, Steve Perry, and so I will tell you, I'm not the expert at distortion because I don't sing distorted a lot. The way I do distortion is by just adding healthy vocal fry, and that's just the way I do it. So, yeah, that's how I would do distortion. Anything else wouldn't, like, I'm a trained opera singer, so my background is in always trying to create the most crystal clear tone possible without any dirt in there. So, my only way that I teach is really by doing vocal fry. And that to me is the healthiest way and the most sustainable way to do distortion. Did I miss something? Yes, of course. If you just now joined, you missed something awesome. But you can always watch later. So, and when you drink coffee when you are thirsty, that does not hydrate your body. That's totally true. But again, there's not a rule like, you should drink coffee or should not drink coffee, or when you should drink it and how much you should drink it. Everybody is totally different. And one person will react to something that another person totally wouldn't react to. So I'm very sensitive toward medications, for example. I'm freakishly sensitive. That's why I don't ever take medication. And for me, I could take a quarter of a dose of anything and it would have a total effect on me. I don't know why. My body just is sensitive to foreign chemicals. But when it comes to food, like I could stomach anything. And I'm not sensitive there at all. I could drink milk and acidy stuff and hot stuff and then sing and not be phlegmy at all. So every body is different, and you need to just you need to kinda learn. You have to get really acquainted with your body, and that's something we lack a lot of times. And in order to sing better, I think being very well acquainted with your body just is so important because you need to feel your body. You need to feel the nuances. Okay. I want to wrap up here because I got so much more to do. I've been experimenting with, yes, okay, adding that healthy distortion by reducing my airflow. Yes, you need to have that compression, really important. And it doesn't cause a problem. Yes, good. Compression is good. That's subglottal compression. Very good. Mr. Productions, I've always wanted to learn how to sing well. Even tried to find a singing teacher near me, but didn't find. Yeah, it could be hard in some areas. I don't know. Maybe that's why, there's a lot of online coaches too. I don't officially offer one-on-ones anymore via Skype. Um, I just have my master class, but that's a longer ongoing process. But finding a teacher, even if it's just every once in a while to check up on you, could be really helpful. I have some people who just book lessons with me maybe like a couple times a year just to get checked up on. I want you to listen to me singing so you can know the reason. How do I do that? Well, I can't, I get tons of messages every single day, and I'm sorry, I can't coach everyone and help everyone. But in my free Facebook group, there's so many very, very knowledgeable singers in there, and it's a good place to get some feedback. Totally. Very knowledgeable people in there. And of course, there are other Facebook groups too, which might help you. Yes. I need to wrap it up. Uh, at Sushi, thank you very much, Freya, for answering my question. Do you think not having a fixed breakfast, lunch, dinner can cause acid reflux? Like I said, I'm not a doctor, but I'm a real health nut. By the way, I have another YouTube channel in which it's called Healthy Minimalist Mom, in which it's all about minimalism and like me as a health nut. Like I said, your body may react to not having a schedule on eating. What I do recommend though is like intermittent fasting is very helpful. It resets a lot of your processes like hormones and your insulin level is stabilized and you start going into ketosis. Intermittent fasting doesn't mean you actually do a fast. It's just that you narrow your window during which you eat every day. So for example, today I'm doing a prolonged intermittent fasting. The last time I ate was last night at 7 p.m. and it's now 11:11 a.m. for me. And now I'm not going to eat until about 1 p.m. until I have lunchtime. I don't do this every day, but right now, today, I decided to do just an intermittent fast and it really does help. There's a lot of science on that, how intermittent fasting can help, and it might help some people who have, to struggle with acid reflux. Also, your gut biome. Okay, here's a there's this company, I'm totally not affiliated, but it's awesome. It's called Viome, Viome. If you want to invest, if you want to invest something very useful, it's it's a company that they will look at your gut biome. So you send them a sample, you know what kind of sample, but you send them a sample and they will basically tell you, like what they will do is extract the DNA of all your gut bacteria, all those little critters that live inside your body that help you digest. Yeah, it's not you digesting, it's those little critters. And they will give you an analysis of what your gut biome is like, how many species do you have, and which species do you have. And according to that, they will tell you which foods are really good for your gut biome and which foods cause problems. So it might be a really good idea to find out what could cause a disruption in my digestion, even possibly causing leaky gut syndrome, in which, chemicals from your food get into your bloodstream directly because they penetrate your gut walls. Not a good thing. You don't want this to happen. And then you have all kinds of reactions. Um, that would be a great investment. And it's not, this is, I've done it and it's crazy. It's you have an app and then it lists hundreds of foods that are really good for you or that you should avoid. Okay, I have to wrap it up. So, great for everyone to be here. It's been 39 minutes. I only wanted this to be about 20 minutes, but I hope this was valuable. Check your body, be in tune with your body, and make sure you don't hurt yourself. Stay healthy, keep your voice healthy. And yeah, if you want to work in my masterclass, I would love to have you. Masteryourvoice.tv. Send me a message via Facebook or so if you have any questions. And join my Facebook group if you have not already. I'm going to go in there right now and see if anybody requested to be, to be allowed into the group, and then I will approve you. Just make sure you answer those 3 questions so I know where you're coming from and that you will read the group rules because there are a few rules so we keep it nice and friendly in there. All right. Have a wonderful day. Always keep on singing and rest sometimes. Bye for now.